March Madness may be over, but March Radness is still here. Today on...
Don't bracket over the intro.
Don't play baseball over the intro?
That's right. Yeah, it's baseball.
Go sports ball.
Yeah.
Wait, that's me now. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Press B to Cancel, your favorite not sports podcast, thankfully, because I don't know jack about sports. I am your host this week, Sick Jake, and I'm joined by two lovely people, Sinistar, Wolf. How you guys doing?
Swell.
Doing pretty good.
Correct answer
But the
is rad.
swelling. Yeah.
I'm doing
No,
rad.
for me, it's swell, but the swelling will go down.
I don't know, Red.
Well, it's March. It's our, did we do it last year? I think we did last year. Our March Radness episode. And, you know, much like March Madness or basketball, I do know some things about sports. We do March Radness, where we do a bracket ranking of some kind of gaming topic, or sometimes not a gaming topic. But this week we are doing worst. We're doing worse games than Circus Charlie. I'm not sure who submitted this one to the bucket of ideas for our podcast, because all games are worse than Circus Charlie, because Circus Charlie, as we all know, is a fantastic game. Guys, I'm not sure what we're doing here.
It was me.
Is Bard's Tale and Suikoden going to be a bracket in this thing? Is that what we're doing? Is we're going to throw all our favorites into the gutter and have knife fights? Where's Chard? I can start throwing in his favorite picks in there. Gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, wasn't his favorite that Genesis game with the eyes on the front, whatever that is, and he thought Crimson. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
We can't tell what he likes unless it's Final Fantasy or Resident Evil. We don't know what he likes. It's okay.
Yeah.
No,
Lawnmower Man. He likes Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower. Nobody likes Lawnmower Man. Actually, that should have been one of our picks this week. Actually,
that should have been.
I've never actually played it.
I actually own that. It's on 4 CDs.
Oh, is it the PC version? That's crazy.
Yeah.
We should talk about. Honestly, there's a whole series of episodes we could do on bad games. I would like to talk about Lawnmower Man in detail, because I think the PC version is much different than the SNES version, Genesis versions.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not doing Lawnmower Man. We are doing games that are worse than Circus Charlie. I had to grammar check that topic a few times. What we have is 10 games divided up into, randomized brackets. I have a specialized algorithmic rhythm thingamajiggy I use every time we do an episode like this to fairly distribute the brackets. Although I think they're all bad, so I don't know how much shenanigans I can do. And then we're going to talk through the brackets and pick the worst of the bracket and move our way down. And at the end, we'll crown gold, silver, and bronze of shitty games, I guess is what we're doing this week. When I think we were talking about bad games, there's some here I think I forgot, or maybe I just blacked them out of my memory. I just completely blocked it to get rid of the trauma. I don't know about you guys, but you guys picked some really good picks as well. We had a couple picks from social media as well as our Discord, so we have those in here as well. So yeah, it should be a good time. These episodes kind of go long, so we're going to speed through a little bit, and we're going to get right into it with our first bracket, which is Knuckles Chaotix for the Sega 32X versus Deadly Towers for the NES. And I got to say, Deadly Towers, I think, Wolf, you're one who submitted this one. This is the first time I played this game, and probably the last. But maybe you can explain a little bit about what that game actually is, because I did not realize it was this. So.
Well, I mean, it comes in making you think it's going to be a good game because, it presents you with these towers to explore. Apparently, there's multiple, but I've only seen the first one. But if you head right further from that first door, you'll see other doors that are blocked off. You can't get into them.
Right.
So, this one was one that I was curious. Like I learned about this week because I did some digging to see what bad games were. And I saw this one come up a bunch of times. So I was like, let me try it. And sure enough, after playing it is when I recommended it. And I gave it like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay. But oh my goodness, it seems like, here's a good game. And they shotgunned it in both feet so that it wouldn't be, because on the surface, it looks like it has good mechanics,
Right.
good ideas, but it's so fucking frustrating and repetitive and confusing and unfair.
Mm.
It's like an adventure game, almost like Crystallis combat level of combat, but not nearly as good. And Crystallis is not very good for combat.
It's
You're
it's a little frustrating because you shoot a sword instead of
Yes.
just being able to stab. And that one sword is, at least at the beginning, all you get. I don't know if it gets upgraded later or anything, but
It must
like,
get upgraded because it's on the status screen where you can pull it up as it's like a dagger or
as
something
an
you have.
ATP.
Yeah, something like that. But like when a lot of enemies you can kill with a few hits, it's fine. But then there's these like ball things that I thought were invincible at first, but you can kill them. You just have to hit them a billion times, but you're kind of forced to
Yeah.
kill them. There's rooms where there's a lot of them stacked up. And if you don't kill them, they spin around the room and they hit you and they do a ton of damage. So I was really confused.
Oh,
I was
wow.
dying very quickly. I did not get very far.
But
I have not
yeah,
played
like
this.
you can. So in any given room, you're essentially on a ledge. You're not just in a room, you're on a ledge. And so enemies, when you get hurt or a wind gust rushes by, you can get pushed down. Sometimes you get pushed other directions, but most often it's downward. And so, sometimes the path is very thin. You get hit, whoop, down you go, you're dead. Game over. Now, I will credit the game one thing. Whatever upgrades you found when you get a game over and then you continue, you keep.
Yeah.
You don't have max health, but if you find health upgrades, which you can find a lot, and I think you can actually get the same ones over and over, you keep that max hit points. You just start at the same 100. So you'd have to find more hearts to cap off. But
It's like
yeah.
the Metroid thing, right? Where you get the energy tanks, and when you start the game back up and give the password, you still have the energy tanks, but they're empty. That's all.
Mm.
The game,
Yeah.
it has a password system, and when you die, which you die a lot, you can just instantly get back into the game. So you're right. It's easy to get back into it after you die. It just sucks you die so quickly. And I tried to give it an honest go. And like some of the fights are okay. It seems like, okay, this is actually maybe a hidden gem. Like I surprised I didn't hear about this more before. But then there's areas where there's like random wind gusts that fly around and then knock you around, and like there's no predicting where they're going to hit you. And that was frustrating. The towers of the iron orbs that spin around, they do tons of damage. I couldn't get through that. I just got lost. I didn't know where to go. There's so many rooms to kind of figure where you're supposed to go. There's no hand holding, no guidance whatsoever. And I wasn't really finding power-ups at all, so I don't know what I was doing. But difficult, very difficult.
So I want to mention that one of the times I was playing, I was wandering through the dungeon and going to somewhere I hadn't been before, but I happened upon a dead end. And I was like, well, crap, that sucks. So I went to head back and picked something up. And all of a sudden I was in another area where all the rooms were very small, just the one screen. So there was like, there'd be doors on each wall of the screen, or at least 2 or 3, if not all 4. And so it seemed like the enemies were all stronger there. I don't know why I wound up there.
Okay.
And like the enemies were black and like they had twice as many hit points. I don't know what happened.
Right.
I don't know what I triggered to get there, but I couldn't make it happen again. And I don't know what got me there. And the music is like, it's okay. It seems like could be good, but you're never in a room long enough to let it go on, because every time you reload a room, the song just starts over again.
Yeah, hallmark of a good game when the track resets every 10 seconds, because you can just power walk through rooms. It's stupid.
Huh.
Yeah, this is
like
a bad game. Yeah, it's a bad game.
Like a bad game.
So this is against Knuckles Chaotix with a 32X. I mean, I used to never think there could be such a thing as a bad Sonic game, but this is probably the one that's bad.
So bad.
The idea for this one is like it's a Sonic game, although you don't play as Sonic. You get to play as his B tier character cast. Some of them are made up for this game, and you're basically daisy chained to another character, and that messes with the physics. And anybody who's played a Sonic game, a 2D Sonic game, knows like physics are pretty important in Sonic, where you're building up speed to go up ramps and jumps and all that. Well, imagine playing that where you have a second character chained to you, and if you make a jump halfway, he'll dangle over the edge and pull you down, or he'll slow you down, messing with your momentum. It is like everything about gotta go fast with Sonic. You're just lucky if you can go. Never mind going fast. Just trying to go is a challenge. So this is a pretty bad game, and it sucks because the 32X could have used a really nice showpiece, and the sprite work in on 32X here is actually really good in Sonic Chaotix. But man, the gameplay.
Well, not having played either of them. Sorry, not having played either of them. I'm going to throw this out as an active audience listener here, and say, at least Knuckles makes sense.
No,
Oh,
it doesn't. No. Okay. Let me, since you've not played this, let me explain this game to you. Have you played Sonic 2 or 3?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because this comes after Sonic 3, right? It's Knuckles.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Whoever at Sega had the bright idea for this game thought, let's take a Sonic game, make it slower, and attach and add a bunch of mechanics that make the game confusing and difficult to navigate, and let's make it to where every time you're moving somewhere and you're trying to get somewhere, there's another character dragging the camera around all over the place. So you're like, I didn't know games with shaky cam existed back then.
Let me explain what I mean by
it's so bad.
Let me explain what I mean by makes sense. I assume the levels are the same whenever you play it. Instead of being like, I ended up in random world and I never got back there.
No, you would be wrong.
Okay.
You get it does a fucking roulette for what the next level will be.
Does it?
Every time. It does.
I didn't know that. I mean, I'd never beaten the first stage.
Roulette's the stage. You fucking roulette claw machine your partner with Knuckles. So you might get one of the, 4 cast of characters, or you just might get sandbagged with a robot that sucks.
Okay.
See, I made some assumptions because it's a Sonic game.
Yeah, you want it to be good.
And then, now, instead of Chaos Emeralds, they have Chaos Rings. Fine, whatever. They're leaning into the ring thing, which is really weird because Knuckles is like the Master Emerald guy. Why are they going to Chaos Rings with the Master Emerald guy?
Okay,
I don't know. But on those stages, if you remember the bonus stages from Sonic 2, where you're in the half pipe, right?
Yeah.
They said, okay, let's make it look worse. Give the player even less reaction time to grab just one sphere at a time instead of trying to collect a bunch at once, and fuck with the gravity. Like, have you guys ever played Hard Driving on the Super Nintendo?
Oh, yes.
Or remember Harder Race Driving in the arcade?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, on the Super Nintendo, Hard Driving is seconds per frame, right?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Like low frame rate.
As soon as the blue orb appears that you want to get in the bonus stage, because you only got to collect like 4 or 6 at a time per segment of stage.
Yeah, you get
as soon as it appears, sometimes it's like you already have to be headed toward it the moment it appears. Otherwise, you will miss it.
All right.
It's oh my God. I know I recommended both of these games. Knuckles Chaotix is so much worse. I would sit down and give Deadly Towers more time.
Okay.
I will never touch Knuckles Chaotix again.
I was leaning towards Deadly Towers being the worst of the two, only because Knuckles Chaotix looks really good. It sounds really good. I know the playing is awful, but you're making a good argument about the RNG with the stage selection and the character selection.
No. I also feel like the sprite work is really lazy in Knuckles Chaotix.
Okay. I mean,
the background design, all of it. It's so lacking. Sonic 3 looks worlds above Knuckles Chaotix.
All right.
Where do you lean, Sinistar?
Since I made some assumptions and and Wolf had a negative reaction to every single Sonic assumption that I made, I'm gonna say Sonic or Knuckles Chaotix is the worst of the two.
Okay, I can agree with that. Like, because I will say this: Deadly Towers. I kind of want to go back and try it to see if I could do something with it. I've played maybe an hour total of Knuckles over the last 10 years. I think I don't want to play it anymore. But it's nice to look at. All right, so Knuckles Chaotix, we'll move on. Now, how I thought that would go. Our next bracket, these are two fun ones. We've got Bubsy 3D for the PlayStation 1 versus Dragon's Lair for the NES. And boy, Sinistar, you're a master at Dragon's Lair. Out of all of us, I think you've played the most. Do you want to explain this trash fire of a game first?
Yeah. So take everything that you know about Dragon's Lair Arcade, which was quick time reactions to a Laserdisc, right? So literally you see something flash on the screen and you have half a second to click a button, move a joystick, whatever. So as long as you can learn the pattern, you can progress, right? Take that and make it a side scroller. Yeah.
Throw it out the window because it has nothing to do with this game.
Not even a platformer, a side scroller where, I mean, there's jumping and there's dodging and there's but well, first off, the control reaction time is non-existent. Like you click the button to go a direction and you might as well go make a sandwich. And then by the time you come back, whatever on the screen is launching something at you, and then your character's like, hey, I'm gonna move. There are hidden pitfalls, which I hate. Like I hate, jumps into infinity or hidden pitfalls. And this is going to be a running theme. The regional differences are drastic. I played the US version first and was then told, no, everybody does Chivos on the UK release because it's so much worse.
Oh.
It is so much worse.
Okay.
Yeah, the timing is tighter, which I'm not talking your buttons are tighter. I'm talking the game timing is tighter. And and so I mean there's an aspect like the game, the progression is always the same, which is how I was able to get through, I want to say 4 or 5 screens. I was able to get through 4 or 5 screens.
Okay.
And so basically as long as you can learn the patterns. But even when you learn the patterns, there are enemies that add an aspect of RNG. So where you're feeling comfortable, or there's a very small, tight hitbox when I'm saying like the edge of like a cliff or something, and you feel like you're in the right spot. Nope, you jump and you fall off, right? I mean, so it's just, I don't know. I feel like AI could code that game these days. That's how I feel.
I will say I only made it. I couldn't get past the first screen. You start off by walking.
Dragon.
The stupid dragon. You take 2 steps and you have to huck a dagger to kill the bat, and you have to be in the right spot for it. Because if you go too fast or too slow, you're gonna miss that bat because he slightly goes up and down.
Yeah.
And then you jump. You go across the bridge. You have to go fast because parts would fall apart. Then you have to jump over the dragon. And I think you're supposed to jump back over the dragon and go back to the left of the screen.
No,
you can kill the dragon. You can kill the dragon.
You have to go. So you have to make the dragon come up.
Yep.
And then you got to go back to the beginning of the screen and duck.
Yep.
So that way he's not shooting fireballs at you.
Yeah.
Face him, stand up, throw some daggers, let like 1 to 3 hit him, and duck before the fireball hits you.
Yep.
And he'll drop back down, and you reset him, and you get back up, and you start hurling daggers. That'll get you through room 1.
But the problem is your duck button is the same poor mechanic where you hold duck and you might as well go as
It's
Thrax
slow.
says, you might as
Yeah,
well go through your taxes.
he gets prone at the same speed I get up off the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my issue was jumping back over the dragon. Like I go across and I jump over, then I come back, and I kept nicking on the dragon because the
No,
hitbox is
you
so bad.
just have to go far enough that he comes
So
up
it
and
spawns. Oh, I see. And then
Yeah,
you just do it.
uh-huh.
Okay, well that's what I was
Yeah.
doing wrong for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Dragon's Lair featuring Dirk the Dawdling.
Yes.
it's bad.
And I mean, the arcade game isn't a good arcade game. It isn't.
No, but it's
It's
unique.
pretty as hell.
Yeah,
It's pretty as hell
yeah.
because it was drawn by,
Don Bluth.
Bugs Bunny animators, right? Don Bluth,
yeah.
right?
Don
Yeah.
Bluth. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and it was novel, right? We hadn't really seen QuickTime events until that game, that sort of thing. I mean, this is not that game.
Yeah, it's all the examples of what not to do when you're porting something from the arcades to the home console for sure.
Yeah.
I guess it's Dragon's Lair versus Bubsy 3D, which is like almost iconically is a bad game. I know, Wolf, you and I played quite a bit of this one. Did you end up beating it?
I have never beaten it. I've been
Okay.
within spitting distance of beating it, but
Okay.
I always just kind of fall off the game before I finish it. Just because it gets very repetitive and slows down quite a bit in the later stages. They get really long and obtuse, and it starts like doing shit where you're going around and have to cross over above another area you were in earlier, and they make those jumps stupid. So sometimes you just fall back down to really early in the stage and you got to do a bunch again. So the repetition there, both of these games kind of started leaning on trolling the player. Which
intentionally or
is
unintentionally, I don't know.
Never a winning strategy for a good game.
Yeah. I have not played Bubsy 3D, but I've watched a number of people play Bubsy 3D. I've never seen it beaten, but that's a bad game. Like in a world of platformers like Bubsy 3D that were honestly good, like Vex. I don't know if you remember Vex. VEXX.
Well, that was a generation later.
I know, but it's a similar kind of play style. I mean, maybe because it's a generation later, they figured out how to make it good. Maybe that's what it was. But I don't know, those early generation 3D platformers, you can tell that they were like, how do we make a platformer work in this? I don't know. Try something.
It took a while for 3D
Yeah.
platformers to get their stride, and like even nowadays, it's still a lot of them still. There's definitely a right and a wrong way to do controlling of a 3D platformer, and I'll tell you, digital D-pad is not the way to do it. I mean, that's what we had back then. It's fine, I get it, but as much as I dump on Mario 64, at least it was analog control, and it was mostly okay. Bubsy the control is awful. It's slidey. Definitely a lot of cheap deaths. The music is so bad and just so like annoyingly grating in your ears while you're repeating stage after stage. It's just so bad to listen to. And like the character trolls you or like makes those quips. They're funny maybe the first time you hear it, but after like 5 minutes, you're done. You're just done with hearing him talk.
It's the original version of I used to be a adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah. One time at band camp.
Yeah.
These are both bad games. But I will say, in terms of which is worse, at least Bubsy I could get past a couple stages. I couldn't even get past the first screen in Dragon's Lair. So I think for me, Dragon's Lair is probably the worst of the two. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I got to a point in Dragon's Lair where the screen went black on me. And it wanted me to navigate a room I had not seen. And Jake, I know you didn't get far enough. Sinistar, I don't know if you got far enough, but there's a point where there's floor panels between pits.
Yep.
That you have to walk with the floor panel moving. So
I don't think I got that far.
Yeah, it was in like a sewer, not a sewer, more like a bat dungeon kind of thing. It was weird. So yeah, there's like the blocks from Mega Man. Imagine that, but Dirk just trying to cross a bridge of them as they trail.
Yeah.
And it spat those at me in pure blackness without letting me see them before the screen went black.
I was looking at GameFAQs. There's like a candle item I think you can get or you have. Maybe that's what you're missing for that screen. But they probably don't tell you a damn thing. Yeah.
Well, there's an elevator that lets you choose different paths after the sewer room. The dungeon sewer, I guess, is where the bats and snakes and the Ghost King is. But that elevator, depending on which part you jump off of to another room, can send you back to the first room, can send you back to the second room, can send you to that other dungeon area I was talking about, or can send you to a throne room. I don't know if there was another room.
Okay.
But the throne room, I couldn't even hurt the guy that was in there. So I assumed the dungeon was the way to go, but that's when I wound up in blackness. So I couldn't tell you.
I mean, honestly, I think part of the issue that we're all describing here is you take games that have intuitive gameplay, like Super Mario Brothers, right? Like you can hand a kid a controller who's never played that game,
right?
And literally 3 button pushes in, they understand how this game works, right?
Yeah.
You never understand how Dragon Slayer works.
Yeah. Like if I gave my toddler a controller to play Bubsy 3D, she could at least move around after a couple minutes. She would have an idea what to do. Wouldn't get very far, but at least she could move around. Yeah, Dragon's Lair is a complete puzzle. That's why I don't want to call it a platformer. It's just a
side scroller.
It's a side scroller. And that's it. So yeah, do we all agree Dragon's Lair is worse?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a bad game, man. There's also the other Laserdisc game that was Don Bluth Animation, Space Ace. Also got a 3D game.
Mm-hmm.
There's Space Ace on the SNES, and it's also a scroller of some kind. It's mostly auto scrolling, actually. It is not as bad as Dragon's Lair, but it is not very good. But it's interesting to watch. Next up is fan favorite, everybody's favorite of the Atari 2600, E.T. Everybody loves E.T. Versus Rise of the Robots. And we have DOS here, but it was also on the Amiga, and I think it was ported to a few different home consoles like SNES and Genesis.
Yeah.
But even the main platform of DOS and Amiga, Rise of the Robots is pretty damn awful. But you might have played it more than us, Sinistar. You want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically this was during the beginning of when they were pre-rendering everything. So, this is what led to your favorite Donkey Kong Country, right? And or, any number of games, like even a good fighting game like Fatal Instinct, not Fatal Instinct, whatever it is.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. Yeah. We can't hear you, Jake.
Fatal Instinct was a whole other kind of fighting game.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, so that one was pre-rendered, but it was actually good, right?
Yeah.
It was super hyped. And when I say super hyped, in 1990X dollars, they spent pounds. They spent over £1 million just on the hype.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Just on the hype.
I remember seeing magazine ads for it almost every month in EGM and GamePro. It was heavily advertised in magazines.
Yeah, and Brian May,
from Queen
fame,
they got him to music.
Did the music for it? Yeah, and then it got delayed. Of course, it got delayed. Right? And there were statements made that we just want to get the gameplay right. We want to blah blah blah. Well, they failed on all counts. Other than it looked good. To give you guys an idea, many critics, one of the critic reviews I said was all graphics, no gameplay. The controls were really poor, really janky. Before the episode we were talking, and Jake, I think I can't remember. You said there are no special moves,
I couldn't
right?
figure them
And
out.
I can't figure out special moves in my memory either. Like it's literally like kick, punch, jump with a kick or a punch, right?
I don't think it
They
has
made
any, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to figure it out now, but I think it had no special moves. I think it literally was just
yeah,
different flavors of punch and kick, and that was it, I think.
yeah. The that one of the things that they really hyped was that the AI was going to be, and we're talking different AI for the 1990s, but
Yeah.
the computer play was going to be one of the better, amazing, incredible, whatever. No, what they did is they made it so that it reads your inputs and it reacts before it really shows what's going on the screen, right? So
Yeah.
it's essentially an unbeatable AI.
What I saw about what they're trying to do with the AI was, at least on the computer versions, is have different tables that would look at the various stats of each character, and if it saw you trying to do sweeps all the time, then it would compensate for that. But the end result, like you said, is to do that, it had to look at your inputs ahead of time, and it was just cheap. Like I played it for a good 20 minutes, and I got nowhere. Like the first fight is brutal. It doesn't help
Yeah.
that when you try and jump, your jump is so unwieldy. Half the time I'm jumping over the opponent and landing
Yeah.
right into a kick. Meanwhile, when he jumps, he kicks and knocks you flat in your ass. Like there's just no avoiding it. But the controls are
Yeah.
hideous, and even the pre-rendered sprites. I see what they're trying to do. Like the final boss is like a T1000 inspired femme fatale thing. Okay, neat, but it's still not an attractive game, and there's still only a handful of fighters. Like 4, I think you fight.
It is not many at all.
Yeah.
I mean, this was in the days when that kind of, ray traced image it was expensive to make, right? Like these were computers running, these were SGI computers running for days and days and days, right? So yeah, I mean, and I remember the hype. Jake, like you, I remember seeing in the magazines, every fucking magazine had an ad for Rise of the Robots,
Yeah.
And the graphics looked so good for the day.
For the time, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just a bad game.
Yeah. Wolf, did you have a chance to play this one at all, or?
I did. I did manage to beat the first guy once by cornering him and just kicking him over and over and over and over and over and over. It was the most exciting gameplay in the world. Every once in a while, he'd work out of it, and I'd have to lure him to the other wall, and we'd jump over each other, and then I'd do it again.
How you do it?
Yep.
Gosh, yeah. I haven't seen AI that cheap since Mortal Kombat 2 in the Genesis. Like that game was brutally cheap with the sweep kicks.
I mean,
and that's what this reminded me of.
Even Street Fighter in the arcade, which cheated as well, right? You could at least compete almost.
I mean, I beat the Street Fighter in the arcades. It was fine, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Like at least it was. You didn't. If you had told me that the AI in Street Fighter was reading player inputs, I wouldn't have known. This game, it feels like it is. Like you can feel like it's reacting to you before you even do anything or before you finish your attacks. So.
Yeah.
Well, I played this and I was like, wow, I didn't expect I'd find a fighting game that I liked less than Tournament Fighters. And it made Tournament Fighters look spectacular.
Wow.
It's weird that, like, when you tell me there's fighting games on PC, like on DOS, it still sounds weird to me. I know that the DOS had a few decent fighting games, but it's just odd. It does not feel like the platform for fighting games. It is very strange.
My first experience with Mortal Kombat 3 was not in the arcade. Because I think it was DOS.
Was it DOS? Okay.
I told you guys, a couple of my friends worked for Midway's QA department, and so I would go over to their place because they would bring it home, and I would play the pre-release versions of these games. So yeah.
Crazy. All right, so Rise of the Robots, really bad fighting game against E.T. for the Atari 2600, the game where you fight the controls.
Or the layout of the screen.
The layout of the screen. I mean, it is the Atari. The Atari is very limited in terms of controls. You have a button, you have a joystick. It doesn't tell you much. I mean, it can't tell you much. It's the Atari. The biggest frustration I think folks have is when you are on a screen, there are pits all over each screen, and when you fall into the pit, ET drops and it becomes a side view, and you have to kind of levitate your way out of the hole, all the while trying to avoid, I think it's the FBI. It is a cryptic game, but once you figure it out, it is beatable in like 5 minutes. Again, it's an Atari game.
Sure.
But if you don't know that loop of what you're supposed to do, it is incredibly frustrating.
There you go.
That's my favorite controller. I love that controller.
Yeah, I definitely have memories of this. I owned this game when I was a kid. And A, I was 9 or 10 years old. B, I loved everything ET because I was 9 or 10 years old. And so at that time I didn't hate the game. I didn't understand the game. It made no sense to me.
Right.
And I remember absolutely feeling like I was walking around the pit and all of a sudden down into the pit. Just
Yeah.
all the fucking time.
You know, you come up from the pit and ET's like above the hole. So you're like, oh, I need to go up to get away from. Oh, I fell in again. And you keep thinking that because you're like, this time, maybe it was just a glitch that time. No, the hitbox is nowhere near the hole.
Yeah. Yep.
Or, you'll be on a spot that there's an arrow pointing to the next screen. So you use his ability. Boom, you're in the next screen, you're in a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's video game history too, right? Like this is the game that kind of heralded the video game crash, right? This is the game that famously tanked so bad they buried it. They buried it into landfills, and it was dug up decades later.
We're going to talk about that though, because there is a game on this list that now, after history has revealed more information, is actually blamed more than ET.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Huh.
So,
I do want to say, as I didn't use a manual on any of these games. I figured them out myself this week. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that. But E.T., I actually kind of figured out after a little while. Like I figured out, certain spots. If you're picking up the Reese's Pieces, you could stand on those spots and get more time by using up the Reese's Pieces. There's a way. The one thing I didn't figure out, because after I had spent a while on it and got stuck, the one thing I didn't figure out was the 3 symbol, which I guess maybe the prison symbol or the government building symbol. I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be.
I think that's the government building symbol.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you stand on that when somebody's trying to get you and you use his ability, they try to leave and go back down there. So it's like, okay, that gets them off your back. I did not figure out. So that would have made the game much more accessible for me. I got to the point where I was like speed running how to do things, but then I'd get to the point where I'd phone home and then go try to wait in the forest, and I could not last long enough. I'd either get dragged away or the fucking FBI agent would come steal a part of my phone doohickey.
Yeah. Yeah, the fucking AI or the fucking FBI agent, man.
At one point, Elliot started following me around and stealing my Reese's Pieces.
Yes.
What?
Maybe he's hungry.
That director's cut version of the movie, right? The alien that steals your Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
No, Elliot, the kid.
Oh, yeah. Elliot.
No, I know. He's No, I remember Elliot chasing me at one point, being like, "Why?"
Yeah, I saw I had one piece, and he just yoinked it and ran down to the corner and hung out. And I was like, "What was that about, dude? Like, I'm low on time. You just picked me up out of a pit, and now you're stealing my Reese's Pieces."
Yeah, Elliot, famously an asshole. That's just he didn't show it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Both are terrible games, but I feel like as bad as ET is,
Rise of the Robots is worse.
Yeah, like as bad as ET is, it's also the Atari, and there is more going on in the ET game than people might realize. It's just frustrating to figure it all out and stuff. With the guide, it's totally playable, right?
And the fact that if my memory is serving me right, I think they gave the developer like 9 weeks or something to develop this entire game to release it at the same time as the movie. and he produced
something.
he produced a bad game. Is it the worst game though? It's not the worst game in my opinion.
I would, you know what? I would go try to beat ET again before I would try to play Circus Charlie again. Because I did. I played Circus Charlie for the NES and the arcade version this week.
Yeah.
Better version. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's barely.
I'm with you. I think because they spent time, effort, money, like they gave a game that much investment and it was bad. I'm gonna go Rise of the Robots myself.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You're right. I would rather play E.T. than Rise of the Robots. Like, at least E.T., there's something going on. Rise of the Robots, like, whether they're special moves or they're just hard to do, you're the same character. Like, Brian May cannot save Rise of the Robots, so I think it's the worst game.
Just go listen to the soundtrack. It'd be good.
And you're good. You're good. You don't need to play it. All right. Next bracket is Adventures of Bayou Billy for the Nintendo Entertainment System versus King's Knight for the NES, which is a Squaresoft game. And when I first played it, and Wolf, this is the one you picked, I thought it was a hidden gem. I actually liked it. It's kind of like you're a medieval character. It's a shmup, and you're like breaking blocks for power-ups. Some are good, some are bad. Finding caves and all that. And when I died, which is easy to do, it's a hard game, you spawn as a different kind of character, and you keep going. So how is this game bad?
Okay, so
it was neat.
On the surface, this seems like a good game, right? Seems really cool. There's a lot going on. There's secret rooms you can find. There's lots of goodies and power-ups. And, you know, those persist with that character when you get to the last stage. However, in order to beat the last stage, you have to have beaten all the other stages successfully.
Oh.
Because if you haven't, you don't have all the power you need to pass a certain point of stage 5. It is literally impossible. So you die on level 1, beat 2, 3, 4, and get to 5. No, you're fucked. Fuck you.
So this is worse than a Sierra game with soft locking yourself.
Yeah, it literally trolls you into like, yeah, good luck, have fun, but you don't know it yet, but you're already done.
It's a deathless run, forced deathless run. Okay.
Oh, dear Lord.
That does suck.
So, like, on the surface, it's fun, it's good, but they don't convey to you that if you don't survive every character, you cannot finish the game, and you just you're stuck with a game over that you don't see coming.
Okay.
And that happened to me numerous times. I have this game.
Okay. I don't know, because it has like the graphics are really good. They're very variable sprites, different environments. Music was okay. I like the names of the characters. The last character is, I think it's Kid Thief Toby. I don't know if it's because he's a kid who's a thief or he's stealing kids, which is bad. But either way, it's neat. You're a monster as one of them. You're like a lizard creature. I don't know. There's a lot of charm to it. But if that's the gimmick, if the gimmick is forced deathless run to beat the game, that is kind of stupid.
Like, I could understand if beating it with each character made the final stage subsequently easy.
Sure.
Fine. Yeah. But, which is kind of how I thought it worked initially. Once I finally got to the last stage and, you know, I had 2 people, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a hard level. Little did I know it was an impossible level.
Yeah. That sucks. Okay. Sinister, did you play this one at all or no?
No, I did not.
Okay. But I think you played the other pick here, which is Bayou Billy for the NES. One of the hardest games on the NES. Is it bad though?
Yeah. Well, so here I'm going to make a few arguments. First off, this was a game that I rented for a weekend with my buddy's NES, right? I was going to go do a sleepover with my buddy. We went to the video store. We saw this. It's a dude in a Jeep. It's a cool, it's Rambo. It's Bayou Billy, right? And we're like, this is going to be great. Too. Yeah, this is going to be another Akari Warriors, or this is going to be another, you know, something, right? My arguments are not that Bayou Billy is a bad game, that the US release of Bayou Billy was a bad game. Like, they don't really understand why the changes were made. It seems like they wanted to piss off Americans or at least northern American, players. So I looked up the differences because this game is notoriously hard. It is one of those games where if you want to troll a streamer that's playing, a roulette wheel or something, you say spin up Adventures of Bayou Billy. This is up there with the impossible jump in Adventure Island, right? Except for it's the whole game is the impossible jump of Adventure Island. So so it's impossibly hard, but I looked up the changes. Okay. So first off, they've made maps more forgiving, or I guess less forgiving. They changed the driving stage so that you no longer have a health gauge. It's an insta kill when you hit things. More aggressive enemies with higher health. They actually made the graphics worse in the North American release. I mean, so I argue that when they sent it over this way, they made it a worse game than Circus Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, because this is a game. Well, Circus Charlie famously did not come to North America. It's a Japanese-only release. So, I mean, if you compare Machine City, it's called Machine City in Japan. It's not. It's Bayou Billy over here versus Circus Charlie. I don't know. Circus Charlie's still pretty good. Anyway, Bayou Billy. I liked the Japanese version I played, and I've gotten pretty deep into it. I know a streamer who used to speedrun it, and it was always a Japanese version because that was actually beatable. But it's neat because you have the option. It's a beat 'em up for one stage, and then there's like a shoot 'em up stage, and then there's a driving stage. And the shoot 'em up stage, you can use a controller, but realistically, you want to use a zapper, and you can. Like, there's a good amount of variety of gameplay in this game. It is decent, but the US version, it feels impossible. Just getting past the alligators in the first stage feels like just an impossible task. I don't like the changes in the enemy health. It's just brutal. And for that, it's probably bad, but I'm leaning, is it bad or is it just hard? So I see your argument that it's a bad game because it was forced to be hard in the U.S. I think it was because of the U.S. rental market. I think that's why they did it.
Probably.
Right? Like you yourself just said, you rented it for a weekend. A lot of Americans did that, right? And that was the problem. You rent a game, you don't buy it. So when I compare this to, what is this against? This is against King's Knight. Oh, gosh, see that?
It's a devil's choice.
I like King's Knight, but just my thing with King's Knight now is knowing that it's impossible for me to beat it unless I do a deathless. It's a pretty bad move. Whereas the bad move of Bayou Billy was that they changed the difficulty, right?
How did Battletoads go for you?
It's an ongoing project, Sinistar. Squad goals. We're all going to work on Battletoads in the coming 2027 year, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it's, squad goals. I get to Inferno every time anyway. Battletoads is not a bad game. It's just a bullshit hard game. Bayou Billy is nowhere near Battletoads in terms of gameplay being good. I don't know. Where are you guys leaning towards? Which is worse, Bayou Billy or King's Knight?
I would happily continue trying to beat King's Knight, knowing that.
Okay.
You have to go for a deathless run. Like I said, Bayou Billy, I didn't pick up this week out of all the games because I know I don't like it and I know I can't beat the first level.
Yeah.
Like,
and if
we
we're just
aren't
talking about the American
Mad
version,
City. We're talking about Bayou Billy.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because if it was Mad City, it would be a different conversation. I don't think Mad City is that bad, right? I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay. So Sinistar, do you agree? We're thinking Bayou Billy is the worst of the two?
Yeah. There's a reason for the listeners. There's a reason it's on my screen behind me.
Okay. Gosh, the music is good too. That's a shame. All right. Okay, so we have two more picks, our brand new games to talk about, and then we got to do a speed round of semifinals, right? So and these games had buys because the 10 does not fit into brackets cleanly. So it's Pac-Man for the 2600. Pac-Man, just a classic arcade game, somehow squeezed on the Atari, versus Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. I will say Pac-Man. I love Pac-Man. Like, behind me,
Yeah.
I have a Pac-Man cabinet. I have several versions of Pac-Man on that machine. Even my kid loves Pac-Man, but it's always the arcade ones we play. It is never the Atari one. First off, it's the wrong colors. It's a blue background. Pac-Man looks ugly. It's not pellets. It's hyphens. It's like
The ghosts are all one color.
dashes. The ghosts are all one color.
And they blink the entire time.
They're
awful.
not all one color based on what I saw playing it today.
I thought they were.
When they're all stacked and they flicker, you see multiple colors flicker in there because it's a solid ghost that flickers different colors. So they are slightly different colors. They're very similar colors, but they have like a hint of red or a hint of blue or a hint of green. But it's like they're so close to each other. It's kind of hard to tell when they're just flickering about the screen separately.
Yeah. I want to point out that this game, now that they actually have, had history to look at, this game, they actually blame more for the downfall of the arcade industry or the video game industry than E.T. E.T. was released at the same time, after this, but basically what happened is there were something like 700,000 Pac-Man games sold. It was by all intents and purposes a success on the 2600. But then people stopped buying games for the 2600 because honestly, they think it was because it was such a bad port.
Yeah. For those who've ever, I love digital clips. I say this every other week. They did the Atari 50 collection. They just recently added a Namco DLC to it. And Pac-Man for the 2600 is the highlight. Not necessarily for the game, but because there's interviews with the creator, right? It was made by one dude. I can't recall his name. I feel bad. But it's a great interview with him. And he's talking about Pac-Man, the history, the legacy, what he was basically hired to do very quickly. And he talked about specifically the technical challenges of getting something like an arcade Pac-Man to be relatable on the Atari 2600, which is the Atari 2600 is not an amazing machine. And I think when this one came out, it was getting a little bit old in the tooth compared to other systems. And he managed to fit four ghosts, a cherry, power-ups, Pac-Man, and all the hyphens, or the pellets, right? That's a lot of things on the screen to do, and that's a technical challenge. And the only reason the ghosts flicker is because of sprite limits on the Atari, and by doing the flickering, they're able to have the additional sprites. Otherwise, they would only have half the ghosts. So it's a technical achievement. It's just a bad game. So is it worse than Knuckles, though?
Yeah. Just because something was technically good, technically well done, doesn't mean that it was actually well done, right?
Yeah.
Plus the fact that I know that this seems like it shouldn't be something to complain about, but they swapped from a vertical screen to a horizontal screen and moved the wall portals. I mean, the audio's bad. The audio is bad.
It's also the Atari. It's gonna be the Atari. That's what it sounded like.
So, I've never played this before today. Okay.
Oh God. Oh God.
So today was my first time playing it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It as Pac-Man it's Pac-Man at home, right? Like it is. I think it's successfully Pac-Man at home. Like I don't feel like I've played worse ports of Pac-Man on Super Nintendo or Genesis. Maybe Miss Pac-Man. But I've played worse ports of other games for newer consoles that were still supposed to be Pac-Man. It played well. The controls were maybe a little looser than I'd like.
I think that was actually I think that was because when you move, I think your movement has to move a full space before you can change a direction. And so I think it feels like a delay.
With that. I had problems with up and down when going right or left or vice versa. Making turns, I found didn't always happen the way I wanted.
Yeah.
And, when I'm usually with a good Pac-Man game, that's my fault. Today I was like, wait, I was already holding up. Why didn't he go up? I guess I did it too soon. So it doesn't constantly register you're holding up and like, okay, now I'll go up in the next opening. It's like, no, you got to hit up like within the half second before he hits that point so that he'll go up.
Gotcha.
So it's a timing issue and an input. I see Thrack is saying that it was a beta version that they ended up pushing out and he didn't get to finish. So maybe that's why.
Sure.
Which, I mean, we're not giving excuses to these games today. We're like,
they're all bad.
Which one's worse?
Yeah.
I would rather play Pac-Man 2600 again over Knuckles Chaotix, personally.
All right. What do you say, Jake?
What also neat about Pac-Man and the Atari? It has a fully functional 2-player mode. And when you swap players, it saves the score with each player. That's, again, technically impressive for what it is. Is it good? No. None of these games are good. But I'm with Wolf. I think if I were to sit down the machine behind me, and if I was forced at gunpoint, you have to play Pac-Man on the Atari or Knuckles Chaotix, I'd rather just play Pac-Man, the game I know and I know how to play, even if it is bad, versus Knuckles Chaotix, which is a game that's too confusing and the physics piss me off. I think Knuckles is worse.
I can go with that. Okay. Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like Pac-Man for the 2600 has better sound design than Knuckles Chaotix too.
No, it's...
I'm serious.
I'm sorry, but that bonk, bonk, bonk is burned into my... It is... I played this so much as a kid. It is like when you say Pac-Man on the 2600 in my brain, I'm just bonk, bonk, bonk.
I have a soft spot for the 2600. I mean, that's the console. That was my first console, so I don't mind the sound effects, but there's definitely distinctive sound effects for that thing. And some of the sounds that come out of that machine don't sound right. It sounds like you broke something. So that's okay.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right, we got Bayou Billy for the NES versus a favorite of mine, a classic, a Kemco classic. It is also a game I love to give streamers when they take requests, and probably why they stopped taking requests. It's Superman for the NES. I want you guys. Did you guys? I think Wolf, you played it. Sister, did you play this at all? Okay. What do you guys think of Superman?
Previously.
Okay.
What's the point of going into the buildings?
So here's the thing.
So there's a few points. Jake, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because this is one I figured out all by myself. I didn't use manual or anything. The only thing that I didn't figure out on my own was Jake said something about flying and see if you can figure it out. And that's when I figured out that you get 2 choices when you try to fly and how to choose them. At least most of the time. Sometimes you don't get a choice, I guess.
Yeah.
But going into the buildings, some of the buildings, when you clear out a floor or a room or whatever, because apparently what I didn't realize at first was what looks like it's going to be a pit of death is just downstairs.
True to life, really. Stair awareness 2026.
Yeah,
pit of death or just stairs.
Have you been to my house?
There's no railings.
So it took me a while to actually try going down one of those things. And then I was like, oh, there's more boards down here. Okay. So with Superman, when you clear some of those floors, you'll get a power up that extends one of your special abilities bars.
Right.
So you can store more of it. There's also some of them have a boss. Because I found a whip lady in one that was, I guess, what I was supposed to go as the first boss.
She's the
in
first
some
boss
basement
in the
of,
first level.
I think, the theater, which nobody at the Daily Planet said, go to the theater, there's a problem. They said, go to the park, there's a problem.
They're next to each other.
Hardly. But
Look,
I was like,
fly like
that's where I was supposed to go? You guys told me somewhere else entirely. Yeah, it's vaguely in that direction.
Yeah.
So like, I can say Jake lives in the direction of Spokane from me, but that's not going to get him there.
All the flying juice in the world won't get you to Canada. For those who've never played this game, they should give it a shot. It is a It is a 2D platformer, and it's a fairly large map of Metropolis, and you can walk it end to end for the most part, although there's different tiers. But the game does it gives you various power-ups that Superman would have, right? Your super breath, there's actually super breath 1 and 2, heat vision, x-ray vision, all these different power-ups, but one of them is flight specifically. And the idea is that you can use your flight to warp along certain points of the map. And the thing that gets me with this game is it does not tell you a whole lot of what to do in each of the different missions. But once you know what to do, it is actually a very quick game to beat. You can beat it in less than 30 minutes. I used to do this for charity runs on streams on Twitch back in the day. And the thing that got me when I first started learning it is you start the level at the Daily Bugle, and you're given information by Lois or Jimmy James there, or whatever his name is. And they tell you the mission vaguely, or they give you the hint on where you're supposed to go. But if you forget, they don't tell you it again. Ever. So sometimes you basically have to take notes, and the manual is no help. The manual tells you jack shit about the game. But once you know what the missions, it's not so bad. But I think for the first mission, what you're supposed to do, you are supposed to go to the park. You fly to Metro Park, and you explore the park, and there's one patch of dirt in the park that is dark. And you can super spin down into a whole underground labyrinth area. And somewhere in that maze is a small fight you do, and when you kill them, it gives you text, I believe is what it is, and it tells you to go to that building where the lady boss is. And then when you kill her, you get a little cutscene with the Daily Bugle playing it. Superman wins the day, yada, yada, yada. Really cool music. And then you get stage 2, and stage 2 is a little bit easier. There's one stage.
For the listeners, Wolf just
died. You almost beat stage 1, Wolf, on your own, which is pretty good. There is one stage I
tried Super Spin at one point. I had no idea what the hell it did. I just burned it out.
Yeah, you have to find the one patch of ground that's darker in Metro Park. But the thing with the underground, it is a maze. And I lost patience with it when I tried it this week. And I've beaten the game before several times. But anyway, there's one stage you have to extinguish fires. And they're literally like living fires with eyes and shit. But they don't tell you where they are. They're kind of hidden on the map. And the map is huge. And to find the 4 fires, if you don't know where to go, is very cumbersome to do. It's brutal. There's some enemies that are invisible unless you use X-ray vision. Like, it can be tedious, but there's a lot of hidden stuff. Like you just described. One of the cool things I like about the game is you do have power meters, like a certain amount of power for each of your abilities, and you can find special ones that permanently extend your bar for the rest of the game, and they're hidden pretty good. There's actually some spots. The reason I asked about flying is you can fly on top of some buildings onto the roof. And that's where you find permanent upgrades. And there's a couple of locations that way. So there's hidden stuff in this game that's very cool. And after each stage, although the map is still Metropolis, the enemies and the layouts and the buildings you go into does vary and does change. There's new enemies you come across. The bosses are different. There's a lot of cool stuff there. But why is it bad? First off, if you're colorblind, you're screwed. Because when you kill enemies, they drop 2 colors of power-ups. Blue kryptonite, which is good, and red kryptonite, which lowers your health. Oh, there's a third one if you're Clark Kent, because that's the thing too. If you take enough damage, you turn from Superman back into Clark Kent, and Clark Kent can't punch for the damn. And his kryptonite shows up as green, I think. But the reason that's bad is the graphics are bad. I think we did an episode on this before. The telephone booth you change into is like 10 meters tall, and Superman's this little chibi little sprite that's really tiny. It looks ridiculous. The physics, you have to push up to jump, and when you jump, you fly. Leaping tall bounds like Superman should, but all the enemies have that jump where they're flying through the air. It's wild. And if you want to stall your jump, and this is how you speed run it, if you want to like stagger your jump so you don't hit the enemies, you just mash the punch button, and as you're punching, for some reason that stops gravity, and you just punch in midair until you're ready to let go.
Oh, yes.
And like when the enemies shoot guns at you, the bullets are the size of your fist, like they're massive bullets. There's a graphical style here that is so absurdly bad. It's wild. This is a Superman game. It's crazy. So I don't know, but it's beatable.
Okay. Can I posit a strange theory?
Mm-hmm.
Superman is a puzzle game.
You think this is a puzzle game?
You have to figure everything out. Where to use things, how to use things, where to go. You got it. You're saying you should take notes. It's a puzzle game.
We could have. This could have been one of the 4 pillars of the puzzle genre.
Yes.
We missed out. Eat your heart out, Blueprints.
Yeah.
No, but I was thinking about this earlier, and then Thrak said something. Is there any good Superman game? I was thinking about this. I think Superman is destined to never be a good game because he's the invincible hero. You are either Superman, as he should be, and the game is dull, or he's weakened by something constantly, and it's frustrating. So you never get a good experience out of playing as Superman. It's impossible. I think in order for us to get a good Superman game in the future, you'd have to play as Jimmy Olsen.
Now that'd be a game.
Seriously, I thought about this earlier.
I will say there's one good Superman game. It's I remember liking it. It's the Superman arcade game. I want to say it's Taito, but I could be wrong. It's a Superman beat 'em up, and the sprite is massive. There's a lot going on. There's flying stages. I really dug that Superman arcade game. That's the only one. Yeah,
I could see a beat 'em up Superman being good.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Midway game like the Marvels? No, that was Marvel. Wasn't there was a DC game? Wasn't it a fighting game?
Oh, a fighting game from NetherRealm. Yeah. Injustice, where Superman's the bad guy. Yeah. Those games are good too. Yeah. But as you're right, Wolf. Like, he's supposed to be the unbeatable, invincible character. That's why I don't really generally like Superman comics or media, is because he's invincible. I was always more of a Batman person for sure. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is against Value Billy. Which is worse, Superman or Value Billy? I've beaten Superman. Value Billy, I will never be able to beat unless I go to Japan.
First off, I want to point out 2 statements that Jake said. First, he said, one of the things I like about this game is the ability to extend your bars. What do you like about Bayou Billy, Jake? What do you like about Bayou Billy?
I like the music. I like the music a lot.
Anything about the gameplay?
Yes. Okay. So I like how there's varied gameplay. I dig that. That's why I like Circus Charlie. There's different stages with different kinds of gameplay. Value Billy has that. I think if this was the Japanese version of Value Billy, I would say Superman's worse.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's the American version.
The other thing that you said was I beat Superman.
Yes.
You ever beat Bayou Billy?
No. I've never beaten Bayou Billy. I've gotten deep into the Japanese version of Bayou Billy, but the American version, not a chance. I think I beat the first stage once, and then I was so low on lives, it was just not worth continuing. It was awful. So I think Bayou Billy's worse for me.
Yeah, to Superman's credit, it's also like this massive. They actually gave you Metropolis on the NES, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, the game is huge. It literally is huge. There's multiple boroughs of the city you can fly to and explore and get lost in. And, you got to take the subway if you're Clark.
You get a pass. And Superman can also take the subway
around sometimes.
Yeah.
But
I would go ahead.
They gave it a lot. It's kind of weird that there's just so many random citizens on the street you can talk to who have nothing of import to say whatsoever. Like that dude who's like, I know absolutely nothing. I don't know anything is what the guy said, or I know absolutely nothing.
At least he tells you.
And then one guy, in really good English, mind you, says, I don't speak any English. So, and then there were 2 on the same street giving their opinions on the best disco. So
Nice.
they for what was capable at the time on the NES, they did their best to create a lived-in Metropolis city.
I'm going to say, if it was Bayou Billy against Superman 64, I'd have a hard choice. But I'm going to vote Bayou Billy.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too.
Okay.
Superman was actually better than I thought it was as a kid. Yeah. I don't think it's good. I think it's better than I thought I did.
Yeah. None of these games are good, but it's definitely playable. There's stuff there. The Japanese version is fun because it's the sprites are different. It's more chibi anime style in the Japanese version, and you actually have to give your blood type, because that's a thing in Japan. It's their version of horoscopes back in the day, and depending on the blood type you give Superman, his status bars for his powers are different. So that's kind of neat. They took all that out for the American version. So cool game. I actually kind of dig that one. All right, so now we're into our semifinal brackets, and we'll do these a little bit quicker. First bracket is Knuckles Chaotix versus Dragon's Lair.
Oh, that's a devil's choice, man.
They're both awful.
They are.
I'm gonna put in a hot take here. Okay. Every time Jake is like, we're going to do Dragon Slayer as squad goals, I die a little inside.
Squad goals. Come on. Team building.
I don't know enough about Knuckles Chaotix to genuinely say it's worse, but I die a little inside every time I think of it, especially the EU release, which is the one that you're supposed to run if you do retro achievements. You're supposed to do the EU release, and it's so much worse.
Why did they make the Chivo set for the worst version? I mean, you know what? No, you know why? Because they're Chivo people. Retro achievement people are sickos, and it's fine.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with them. Pick the worst game for these. It's crazy. I don't know. Wolf, what do you think? I think Dragon's Lair might be the worst of the two. I couldn't get past the first fucking dragon. I couldn't figure it out.
I feel like given enough time, I could stomach and figure out Dragon's Lair for the NES.
Really? No.
I don't think I can stomach Knuckles Chaotix. It's just a worse version of anything Sonic has ever done.
No.
There you go. You've got your squad, Jake. You've got your squad.
Yeah.
It's you and Wolf.
I think Dragon's Lair is
somehow made the game slower, and you still don't have enough reaction time to do things.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
At least Dragon's Lair being slow, you have reaction time because most of the things in the game are slow.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I played Knuckles Chaotix a little bit, it's still confusing for me, but at least
play it a little bit more.
I think it's the better of the two. It's definitely better looking. I still think the sound is fine. I like the different characters, even if they are shitty when combined together. I think Chaotix is a better game. I think Dragon's Lair is awful. I just think it's awful and almost insulting that it was made for the NES. I just to take a game from the arcades that is so damn pretty and so interesting and unique, and to try and make it a platformer feels like a crime. So I think Dragon's Lair is the worst of the two.
I want to point something out that happened very early in Knuckles Chaotix that was like, that's when I was like, oh man, they were lazy with the sprites. Early on, there is a point where you see Robotnik and Mechasonic. And Mechasonic picks up Robotnik and flies around a little before flying off with him. And that whole time he's holding Robotnik in the air, circling you. Robotnik is just T-posed, doing nothing, winging about the screen. And I was like, what the hell is happening?
You know what he's doing? Titanic. He's doing Titanic. That's what he's doing. It's the inspiration for
king
Titanic.
Of the world.
Yeah, James Cameron ripped off Sonic Chaotix. That's just the sad reality. It's funny, but I think it's a better game. Right.
No, I can't agree with you on that one. Seriously, give it 2 hours and then come back to me on that one.
Are you saying it's a squad goal?
It's going on the Wheel of Pain this year. That's what's happening.
Yes.
You know what? That makes sense. I should put it on the Wheel of Pain. That's a good idea. All right.
I feel like all of these should be on the Wheel of Pain.
I think you're right.
Well, we have played a few of these before, so I'm not going to make people play Dragon's Lair and Bubsy again. So that's enough. But there are some here that can go on there. You're right. Maybe I'll do that. That's a lot of NES games. Was the NES a bad system? Like it's kind of...
No, it just had 900 games, so there was a lot of possibility for bad games.
Yeah.
All right. Our next semifinal is Rise of the Robots versus Bayou Billy.
Oh God. Oh,
I think this is a harder choice than the last one.
yeah, it is.
There's just nothing in Rise of Robots, right? Like few encounters, the lack of moves. It is the definition of
Okay.
just like graphics, like pretty on the surface and shallow, right? And
Okay.
it's not even that pretty, to be honest with you.
I wanna mention that I tried Rise of the Robots on SNES. And because I was curious, since when I played single player, you don't get to pick your character, you're just cyborg. I tried 2-player to see what happens. I don't know how it was 2-player because player 1's controller got to pick who player 2 would play as.
Yep.
Which I thought was strange.
Yep.
But you don't get to pick player 1. Player 1 is always cyborg.
Yep.
What? Like player 2 could play as like Loader or the big badass from the end of the game that looks super fucking cool.
Okay.
Yep.
And can't be cyborg. Player 2 could be anybody but.
Yep.
Was this because of how they programmed the game?
Must be, yeah.
That they just replace the enemy AI with player 2 controls? I'm so confused. I don't understand. But yeah, I feel like it's pretty. The music was kind of neat. I couldn't get into the gameplay and I didn't understand some of the design decisions.
You can kind of argue the same thing for both of these games because Bayou Billy has good music and it's pretty in the fact that it has a shooting round and a driving round and a blah blah blah, right? And then Rise of the Robots has a good soundtrack and is pretty. I mean, so it's like we have two dressed up turds.
Okay, so
but if you look behind you, Bayou Billy has other game modes.
It does.
It has variation.
Rise of the Robots has 2-player mode.
But getting to them is impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, guys.
I'll say Bayou Billy. At least you have different moves: jump, kick, punch, weapons, variety of enemies. Out, you're fighting gators, and then the next stage you're
shooting
like
a
driving in a
helicopter
car, shooting helicopters. There is more going on in Bayou Billy than there is Rise of the Robots. I could never finish Bayou Billy, but at least I know that there's stuff there to do. Rise of the Robots.
I don't think I could finish either one of these.
So remember, we're going which one's worse. It sounds like you're okay. Anyway,
Rise of the Robots I think is worse. I think it's bland. I don't the graphical style. What I get what they're trying to do. I don't think was that impressive. I don't, whether it's not because it hasn't aged well or just because I think the idea of generic robots fighting each other is boring. I didn't particularly like the music in it. It was okay. Like I said, Brian May, I like Queen a lot. Brian May cannot save this game. And it's just so short. I don't know. I think Rise of the Robots of the 2 is probably the worst. I don't think I'll ever pick that game up ever again. Bayou Billy, if I want to show off, hard NES games, or I just want to like hate myself today, maybe I'll go play around in Bayou Billy. Or realistically, I would probably play the Japanese version. And so, I mean, like, and then I know that's not what what we're talking about. We're talking about the American version, but at least I know there's a version of this game that is actually beatable or playable.
That's true. There isn't a good version of Rise of the Robots.
No, I played SNES. I played the Amiga version, and it's just awful. So I think Rise is worse, personally.
All right, you've convinced me.
Yeah, I'm leaning Rise.
Okay,
Rise. Okay,
guys, is Rise of the Robots the worst game in history?
We'll get there. All right, so we got to decide our bronze medal winner of worst game than Circus Charlie. And it's between, I did not expect this, Knuckles Chaotix versus Bayou Billy. Which is worse?
Okay, you know what? I had a better time with Knuckles Chaotix than Bayou Billy.
Well, you wouldn't even play Bayou Billy. You refused to play it.
No, because I know it's awful.
Yeah, but I want you to hear this. This is important because Wolf has been saying so far, everything he has said about Knuckles Chaotix is it is the worst game ever, period. Every time you bring up something good about it, he smashes you in the face with some bad data about it, right?
Yeah.
I love you, Wolf. You're awesome. But he is actually saying it is better than Bayou Billy.
I don't know.
I know how bad Bayou Billy is.
Okay.
I know how bad that game is.
Do you ever play through a game that's not good, but you just keep playing because you can continue going forward?
Sure. Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Yeah.
I just have to keep playing
to me,
it.
that's Knuckles Chaotix. And I did it with a Turbo CD game last week after our episode. It was some beat 'em up that was like the lamest version ever, like the lamest Temu version of Streets of Rage I've ever seen.
Nice.
But I beat it in one night, like in like an hour and a half. I just beat it after our episode last week. It wasn't good. Every punch sounded like a shotgun being fired for some reason. At one point, dude gets tired of doorways and just starts punching his way through walls, which I thought was kind of interesting. The story just stopped happening after like the first level. But I beat it. Like, I was curious just to see where this game would go, and it didn't go anywhere special, but I beat it. I could see myself doing that with Knuckles Chaotix.
All right.
I could probably lean that way too. What? Like, I think I do want to play more Knuckles Chaotix. I would like to see what else is going on. I would like to see this randomized level or character selection thing. I never got that far. And it's much better looking. Like, I like the presentation. Like Bayou Billy NES versus Genesis, versus R2X. That's not fair to compare the graphics, but I feel like there's more interesting stuff in Knuckles. Like as we said in the beginning of the episode, like it looks good. I kind of want to. It's Sonic. I like Sonic games. It should be a good game. Bayou Billy is just, I don't know. But then Bayou Billy does have like the Zapper levels, the driving stages. I like the driving and Zapper stages.
But can you get to them?
No.
Yeah, it's like first it's Double Dragon, then it's Road Blasters, then it's fucking Gangster City. Like Bayou Billy has some interesting stuff going on.
Jake,
but I don't want to play it.
Jake. This is the most experience. This is the most experience you have ever had with those levels you're talking about, and you're up in Canada, and I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I Game Genie this as a kid to get further, so that doesn't necessarily count. But at least I've seen those levels, so I know what they're like. But yeah. Bayou Billy's worse than Knuckles Chaotix. I actually want to play Knuckles Chaotix after this episode. I'll put it that way. So our bronze worst games is Bayou Billy. Okay. That's 2. We got 2 left. Dragon's Lair versus Rise the Robots. Who is the worst? Who is the gold medal winner of the Golden Poo? The shittiest game. Dragon's Lair, Rise the Robots. You got Dragon's Lair, which is not even a platformer, just a side scroller, and it's a confusing one, versus a very bland, uninteresting, lousy fighting game.
I want to start this discussion because I have given time to both of these games.
Yes, Dragon's Lair was your Wheel of Pain a couple years ago. Yeah.
I gave 2 hours to Dragon's Lair. I think Wolf said earlier he thinks he could beat Dragon's Lair if he just gave it the time and effort and learned the patterns, etc. I don't think I could beat Rise of the Robots unless it was just 2-player. Like,
so Dragon's Lair is a memorization game, right? You have to memorize every single thing you need to do, and then you can beat it. Whereas Rise of the Robots,
to a degree. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I make a point? Dragon's Lair is ghosts and goblins on the moon.
No, because Ghosts and Goblins is actually like a platforming game, right? There's jumping, then you can control how you jump. Dragon's Lair, There's no control. You hit a button and you just go make lunch, right? That's what we were saying earlier. You go make a sandwich, then you come back and you see where you
tap it,
landed.
he jumps a little bit. If you tap it a little more, he jumps medium.
That's
if you
so
hold
awful.
it, he hits his head on the ceiling.
It's like I'd rather play Out of This World or Flashback with that shitty jumping. No. It's an insult to Ghosts and Goblins. Dragon's Lair is barely a game. It is barely a game. It was them trying to take quick time action events, the arcade game, and trying to do something different on the NES, and it failed in every level. Like I don't get it. It is more of a puzzle game than a platforming game, right? The puzzle is trying to figure what the fuck to do. But Rise of the Robots is also pretty bad. And the only way I could beat that game, I think, is if I really embraced the cheapness of me as a kid in arcades playing MK2, where I just did the low kick thing. I feel like that's what you'd have to do, and that's not fun, right? It's a bad game. It's not fun. Both are terrible games. Both are terrible games.
That's a screenshot. Okay.
The game over screen for Rise of the Robots is how I feel about Rise of the Robots.
It's a smashed cyborg helmet with just one eye that looks like it's in like the most surprised eye face ever. Yeah. The things I have seen, kid.
My goodness. I don't know.
I'm gonna vote Rise of the Robots is the worst of the two.
Yeah. I'd never even really heard about it before this week, honestly. I don't know how I missed this one, given how many ads. I'm sure it's in magazines I have under my desk. But yeah, I missed this one completely back in the day.
I was a DOS player at the time, so it made sense.
But I mean, it was on SNES and Genesis and Game Gear.
3DO and CDI.
This game was on Game Gear.
Was it really? I wonder if any of them were good. Like low key, not good, but at least like playable, right? I wonder if any of the ports were decent.
Tolerable.
Tolerable, yeah. Really, Rise of the Robots is our worst game? Not how I expected. You know what? I'll go with it.
I can't feel bad because Dragon's Lair came in second place. That ain't bad.
Yeah,
it's
honestly,
not a good game.
No,
but...
none of them are good games.
And Bayou Billy came in bronze. I mean, this is the podium. This is
the who's who of what you don't want to touch.
Yeah.
You're right. These games need to all go on the Wheel of Pain, minus Dragon's Lair and Bubsy, because we already did those in the Wheel of Pain in previous years. Rise of the Robots. God damn. You imagine playing that game for 2 hours?
Yes, because I did.
Did you?
All I can say is, me and Orlando Bloom found a copy of this game back in the day, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm so glad I didn't pay for it.
Okay. Gosh.
I tried to love it.
I will say I'm glad that neither Pac-Man or E.T. made it to the top 3. Because I know those games are bad. People shit on them all the time, and they are not good games. But I do think, considering the Atari 2600 and how much love I have for the system, I understand the limitations of that platform, and the fact they did anything with these at all in such a short time frame and one developer each, I think is interesting. So I'm glad they didn't get that far. And there's some new ones here I never even tried till today, like Deadly Towers and King's Knight. Definitely interesting. Not good games.
Yeah.
Not good games.
Yeah.
Guys, Circus Charlie is not a bad game. Circus Charlie is better than everything here.
It's bad.
It's not bad.
Dude, I played both games. I gave them each a fair shake. I played through all 8 stages of the arcade version.
Okay. What didn't you like?
I didn't like any of them.
Okay. But when you think of the arcades back then, I think it was better than most arcade games in the 80s because of the variety of different stages, right? Like when you look at games we had back then were like Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong. And then we started getting into games like Circus Charlie, which greatly expanded the variety of stages. I'm not saying it's like game of the year. I'm seriously not saying it's game of the year, but I like a game a lot, and it's so much better than these ones.
Jake, I have to tell you this. I don't know if somebody said to me, you have to play one of these two games, and they picked Circus Charlie or Ice Climbers. I don't know which one I would pick.
God, Circus Charlie is so much better than Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers is trash. Like it's so bad.
Why isn't Ice Climbers on this list?
That's true. That Giant Bomb recently added a tier maker to their website. So just for fun, I was looking at the black box games, and I was just ranking the black box games, and I'm like, right, Ice Climbers is a black box game. It's right in the bottom. Fuck that game. The physics are bad, and there's ice all the damn time. That's awful. Anyway.
Yeah, the changing hitboxes depending on where you start your jump from.
It's awful. Anyway. All right, so for our top games that are worse than Circus Charlie, our bronze is Bayou Billy, our silver goes to Dragon's Lair, and our gold goes to Rise of the Robots. And Rise of the Robots originally on PC and Amiga, but it doesn't matter where you play it. It's bad on all the platforms.
Yeah.
That's a good list. Do you guys have anything you want to shout out?
Well, I wanted to call out the reason that we decided to do our Tower of Shit episode is because we're coming up on that day that I turn off the internet.
Mondays.
April Fools, folks. This is our April Fools episode.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have any? You?
I'm over on Soul Archaic's channel tomorrow. If you're listening tonight, Soul Archaic on Twitch. Otherwise, you'll have to catch us later. But doing the DJ thing.
What do you got, Wolf?
I made a board game. I don't know if I've told you guys about this. I made a board game about 15 years ago. And we busted it out the other night. And I started making notes on how to improve it when we've been playing it. Getting ideas from the wife and kid. So I did it before Fallout 4 had the board game on their shelf. I just want you guys to know that. This is from 2011.
That's very cool.
Having Blast Radius board games on the shelf, I was like, you fuckers.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. I actually want to try and turn it into a digital game as well. So
nice.
What you should
gonna
do
make
is
that
look
my
up print and
goal
play.
right now.
Make it a print and play game so people can buy it. Right? People all about board games, and print and play board games are pretty awesome because then you just pick up the files and then print your own, especially in the age of like 3D printers or people just pick up counters and stuff depending on the components of the game. But yeah, like one of my favorite games to play is I really like the Dune board game. I have to dig it out.
Dune's great.
Yeah, and so they made a really cool before it was out of print for the longest time before it got sold, the rights got sold.
Yeah,
and he did a really nice looking handcraft, like hand drawn style of cards and set and board, and it was all print to play or print and play, and it was free. So and I love the hell out of that. So I printed my own copy of it a couple of years back. Now you can actually buy it. I think it was re-released a few different times since then.
Yeah.
But that fan made game was really awesome. So print to play board games are pretty awesome, especially with the cost of some of these things right now.
For sure.
For me, I did an episode of the 3DO Experience podcast. That's Bill and Thrax's podcast. They are, I love the 3DO. Like it's a system I never had any experience with. I remember seeing ads for it, so it's always a treat to kind of check out what was on that system. We talked the episode's out now. We talked about Eye of Typhoon, which is a game that came out also for DOS. Funny enough. But it was a canceled Neo Geo game and only released on the 3DO otherwise. And it's surprisingly decent. Definitely has some history with SNK, and it was a fun episode to do. So go check out the 3DO Experience with Bill and Thrack. And yeah, it's a good episode. I did record another ranking of Mario. It's Mario 64. I'm going to edit that and get that up on, should be Sunday. I just got to see, Saturday's kind of a bit busy for me. I got a new washer dryer coming and some other shit going on, so I'm trying to find time. But it's recorded, and I'm already working on the next one after that. So hopefully get those out a little bit faster. So be sure to check this out on YouTube. And again, press B to cancel. You can find us on YouTube. Every Friday we go live at 9 Eastern, or catch our VODs. Also listen to our audio version of the podcast every following Monday. We do have Patreon, patreon.com/pressbtocancel. You don't have to, but if you want to support the show with a little bit of money, that's cool. There's a couple perks. Go check us out there. Colors in Discord, access to a couple behind-the-scenes channels. And if you support us at our Circus Charles tier, which is apt for today's episode, we shout your name out. So our Circus Charles members are Vaughn Beerley and Cthulhu's Jeff. Thanks, guys, for the additional support. And thank you to all our Patreon donors. We do appreciate it. Again, all that money goes right back into hosting costs and all that podcast fees, because shit don't get cheaper. It only goes up. so it's just the way it goes. I think that was everything, but otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. This is our March Radness. It's like a little bit of tradition we do. And yeah, I hope everybody had a great time, and we'll see everybody next week for Press B to Cancel.
I would venture to call today's March Badness, but
that's what we should have called it, March Badness.